I love Frank McCourt. I love his story. I think a lot of people have the same struggles, and so he's very endearing.
This is what happened, and I've written about it in this book called Teacher Man, which is available in all fine bookstores and makes a great present for somebody who wants to go into teaching.
I've been reading his book, and it just makes it come alive.
Mr. McCourt wrote a memoir of his childhood, Angela's Ashes, which quickly rose to the top of the bestseller lists, remaining on the New York Times list for 117 weeks. It was selected as the #1 nonfiction book of the year by both Time and Newsweek magazines, and won the Pulitzer Prize.
Never turn your back on a class. Never. If you have to go up to the board, you're right at the board like this. Keep it, otherwise a tomato comes flying through the air. Teachers were hit all the time by sandwiches and tomatoes and blackboard erasers and so. So I never had to worry about that, because I think they sensed that I was already vulnerable. Leave the poor bastard alone. After 30 years of teaching in those high schools in New York, I could appear before the Spanish Inquisition and tell them they're full of it. I suppose it's like being in war. You don't know anything till you're up there. You don't know yourself. You learn then how courageous you are and so on. But I learned that you have to sniff the air like a dog, and sense the mood of the class coming in. People forget about teenagers is that they're essentially brilliant. And they've seen teachers come and teachers go, and they're experts on teachers. They can look at the way you walk into the classroom and tell, well, we'll let this one live, or we'll kill this one, or we'll... 50% of the young teachers in New York City, anyway, drop out before the end of the 4th year. 50%. So, but I got into it, and I stayed because I was challenged. Maybe it's because I was stupid. The image of the teacher in the society, you and I know teachers are failures. There are people who wanted to be something else, but they couldn't make it in the so-called real world of brokerage or insurance or any place else. So, oh, God help us, they became teachers. You know, it's a last resort. You take the teaching test and you go in, and these damn brats are there, you know, and you're having a hard time. And then you realize there's only one way out. Take the tests in administration and supervision. The thing that astonishes me is how teachers are treated with, if not contempt, with disregard. They're the professionals. You wouldn't, if you have a health problem, you're not going to go to an engineer or a politician, you go to a doctor. If there's a problem in education, you go to the teachers. Doesn't that seem sensible? But they don't.
If you look at it economically, you look at teacher pay equated with our education, obviously we are not respected in society. So I think he hit it right on there.
I'm afraid education anymore is not about wisdom. It's not about education. It's about job preparation. And that, you know, that's important, but Americans are pretty far behind when it comes to real education.
He really understands teaching and what it is to be a teacher. And I've not been a public school teacher, but I have taught in a lot of different arenas. But my wife is, and a lot of what he said, if more parents could have been here and heard him talk in Chattanooga, it would have been great.
Earlier today, Mr. McCourt met with local teachers and principals participating in the Benwood initiative. And then he met with a group of creative writing students here at UTC.
Any artist says, what's going on here? That's it. What's going on here? In this room right now, what are you thinking about? I used to say that to the kids. Here I am talking to you, and you're saying, why doesn't he shut up and let us go to lunch? Because the teenagers are always hungry or horny. And teaching is storytelling. I don't care how abstruse the subject is. If you're teaching biology or physics, you better give it a once upon a time gloss. and get them interested. You have to hook them. It's almost like a bullfight. I'm the matador and they're the bull. Shakespeare is full of action, sound and you're dodging and feinting. And if you're teaching and you're not learning, you're not teaching. You better find what you love. If you don't love what you're doing, then you're dead. Because in the beginning, I'm not sure if I loved it, but I got to love it. The kids will know if you love what you're doing. They're looking at you. They're watching you. There's nothing like it in the world. Over 12,000 kids that I had in various classes in New York, I attribute to them any education I might have, any success I have, because it was with them, through them, by them, that I learned how to write. The strange thing about teaching that I learned was that I learned more about myself than I did about them or anything. We're in a constant battle, I think, with our kids. The politicians go around and they express their vague interest in education. We have been worrying about education in this country since the day the country was founded. It'll never be complete. It'll never be perfect. It's a work in progress. It's a big, huge experiment. And this is, unfortunately, is what the politicians don't understand. And I think the teachers should rise up and rebel. Have you heard of Phil the Fluter up the town of Ballymock? Times were going hard with him. In fact, the man was broken, so he just thought. And noticed who his neighbours one and all, how he liked the company that evening at a ball. When writing out, he was careful to suggest to them that if they found the head of his convenient to the door, the more they put in, whenever he requested it, the better. Would the music be for battering down the floor, with the toot on the flute, a twiddle on the fiddle, or hopping with the fiddle like a heron on the griddle. Up, down, hands around, crossing to the wall, heading with the gaiety at Phil the Fluter's ball. That's Irish rap.